Introducing a video where I wish I had my wide-angled lens with me for this, but unfortunately I don't because I've left it somewhere else. Oh well, never mind, on with the review. This is an over-the-door hanger bar, or barra para colga insieme de la perita, or sulla barra de la croce porta. If I've offended anybody with my mispronunciation of these words in completely different languages, of which I do not even know what they are, possibly Spanish, possibly Italian, I don't know. Let's just see, we've got can, honey and do. Yeah, if I have offended anybody, tough. I really can't help you in that regard if you take offence at what I say when I'm talking about something I don't know anything about. So what exactly is this? Well, as you can probably tell from the picture here, it's a hook to go over a door. There's the door frame, there's the door, there's the hook thing, and there's some clothes on their hangers. And the idea is to basically have it extended out like that, or have it folded up like you can see there, to allow you to store some clothes on. Usually for airing purposes, such as if you're making use of the steam in your bathroom to help loosen up the clothes a bit, you know, get rid of some of the day-to-day grime that might have gotten on them. Not dirt per se, because in that case, put them in the washing machine. What are you, filthy? But yeah, but it's just something that could be a bit helpful in certain regards. Let's see what the blurb on the box here says. Sturdy steel construction, quick fold design. And I can't read the rest through the viewfinder, but it says contains one piece, gives the dimensions, and then information about the actual company, which is Honey Can Do, our friends at Honey Can Do, which have their own website at www.honeycando.com. No, this is not an advert. Let's take a look at the rest of the box. We've got some orange writing on this side here. Over the door, folding hanger bar type thing. Yeah, that tells you pretty succinctly what it is, and then exactly the same thing in some of the language, I assume, unless it's upside down English. Oh, it's a different language, but in green this time, and then a bit more of the same. Anybody else thinking old style TV aerial? You know, it just has a vague resemblance to that. And then the same sort of stuff that we've already seen. Anything of interest on the bottom? No, it's just the barcode, which is in two different places. And then some more of the same blurb over here. Notice how awkward I'm having to hold everything because I don't have my wide-angled lens with me. I'll tell you what, let's move the camera back a bit the old-fashioned way. Yeah, it's not coming into focus properly yet, but I can tell you that says over the door, blah blah blah. Right, let's open this up and see what we've got. I've blabbered on for nearly 3 minutes before actually getting to the bit. And that's it, there's no packaging inside there whatsoever. To help protect them anyway, but no, I think it wouldn't need any protecting. Yeah, relatively thin but tough metal. Got some painted bit here, presumably to act as a sort of door stopper thing in case you've got it engaged, so to speak, so that it doesn't end up damaging things. But you can see the mechanism there releases quite nicely, and that looks like the bit that fits over your door. Is that actually adjustable anyway? No, it doesn't look like it's adjustable. You might be able to take it off, but otherwise you just fit that onto a door. So, the basic, whoops, let's just hit the camera away, don't we? So the basic idea, a little bit of padding there, that'll protect one side of the door. One tip I was given by somebody, if you're going to use this a lot, put a cloth or something in between this and the door to protect the door paintwork and whatnot from getting potentially scratched. But the idea here is that you can have it hanging like this, or actually locked up in place like so. In fact, that's a little higher up than I remember it being before, but that might just be because of the awkwardness of what I'm doing right now. But yeah, that's nice and shiny and whatnot. So what is the idea here? Well, the idea is just simply hang it on a door, and when the doors need to be opened and whatnot, you just drop it down like that. Otherwise, you lock it into place like that, and everything should stay in place quite nicely. And of course you just let your clothes hang in there. Now, I'm using this because I've been reading about how steaming your clothes is actually better and healthier for them, so to speak, than actually washing them in the washing machine is all the time. If you ever see the dried lint that you see in a tumble dryer after you've had it running a few times, that's actually bits of your clothes. Yeah. You might not have thought of that before, but yeah, it is actually bits of your clothes, which shows how bad tumble drying can actually be. In theory, just hanging it out to dry should actually be a lot better, which is why obviously people have been hanging them on washing lines for years and years and years. But alternatively, steam cleaning and then letting them dry out is actually just as good, if not better, than washing and tumble drying. So this is my little theory. If I have one of these on the back of my bathroom door and I just hang some clothes on that don't actually need a good thorough cleaning, just need a bit of freshening up, will this actually work? I'm going to test this out. Okay, so here we are in my bathroom, which will probably have terrible acoustics, I'm afraid, no matter how I position the microphone. Anywho, here we have on the left, because I'm having to poke at things with a stick here, on the left we have the door hanger, the new one. And here we have a more standard traditional one, which I've had before. This is just made out of plastic, and as you can see, the main problem here is that it does not space things out well enough for my purposes. I've got 3 t-shirts on here, you might only be able to tell 2 of them are there, and a leather jacket. Now I can also promise you that this does allow the door, both of them allow the door to close properly. The problem with this being a bathroom is, of course, I have no electrical sockets in here whatsoever, so I've got the extension cord for my camera down in the bottom of the corner there somewhere, poking through the underneath of the door. One of those things that I just can't get around, I'm afraid, but it does allow the door to close properly, and it's also quite secure. Okay, despite the fact that the door's not actually shut properly, but it does work quite well. Now let's do a little jump cut as I switch all of these to here. And as if by magic, by the power of the internet, here we are back in the same spot, but this time with the clothes now over here rather than here. And as you can tell, they're a lot more spaced out, so this basically means that any steam from my showers or bath or whatever will basically permeate each of the items of clothing far more easily than it would on this thing. Again, of course, we still have the same problem with the door not being able to shut properly because of the extension cord down that away. But never mind. So we can see straight away that this works, but then there's another feature, isn't there? This is supposed to allow this to close down on there. And that was actually somewhat easier than I thought it would be. It does require both hands, because in this regard, obviously, I have to go and manipulate that, because it is actually quite secure in its own right. When it's upright, it is nice and secure. Now there's no way for this to actually permeate, okay, the steam and whatnot is not going to affect those clothes in any way, shape or form beyond whatever parts of them are actually exposed to the steam. Other sections obviously aren't going to get any exposure at all because they're covered by the clothes. But it's impossible for that to actually just collapse into that position as it is right now. It does take some effort. Although it's quite easy to do, it does take some effort to actually get it into that position. Let's see about getting back into position. Quite easy, literally just a couple of seconds of work to get it actually into that position. And again, here they can now actually get exposed to steam, which is exactly what you want it to do. Brilliant. Hey, well, these reviews are actually getting quite educational. They might actually get useful at some point, mightn't they? Oh well, let me know your thoughts below. If you can see any camera wobble at this point, it's because the tripod unfortunately isn't too stable here, neither is the secure latch thing that keeps the camera actually hooked up to the tripod, so it's wobbling a little like that. And that's simply because I've got my hand on the off switch to do this.